What's up, Brass and Steel family? Welcome back to the channel where we cut through the BS and give you the real deal on everything firearms. Today we're diving deep into the internet's hottest gun rumor, the alleged Glock Gen 6 leak that's got everyone from keyboard commandos to actual industry insiders picking sides. Now, before we get into this rabbit hole, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're about to break down some seriously juicy intel that'll save you from falling for clickbait nonsense. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. So, picture this. You're scrolling through gun forums at 2 a.m. like a normal person, and suddenly, boom! Glock Gen 6 leak. Everything changes. Posts are everywhere. Patent documents, alleged insider info, claims about modular frames, smart gun technology, and enough drama to make a soap opera jealous. But here's the thing. I've been tracking this story for weeks, cross-referencing sources, digging through actual patent filings, and talking to people who actually know what they're talking about. What I found? Well, it's complicated. Some of the stuff is legit, some of it's pure fantasy, and some of it falls into that gray area where truth meets wishful thinking. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's separate fact from fiction in the great Glock Gen 6 mystery. Alright, let's start with what we actually know for sure. And I mean, no. Not, my buddy's cousin works at Glock. No. First up, the patents. These are real, folks. I'm talking about actual USPTO filings from Glock Technology GmbH. We've got patent 122.15944 from February 2025, describing a drop-in trigger unit system, and patent 122.64888 from April 2025, covering a new takedown mechanism that doesn't require pulling the trigger. These aren't rumors. These are official documents you can look up for yourself. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember a few months back when Glock suddenly discontinued over 100 models? I'm talking entire calibers just gone. 357 SIG, 45 GAP, poof. The Glock 22 alone lost 14 variants. That's not normal spring cleaning, people. Now, the internet detectives immediately connected these dots. Massive discontinuations plus new patents equals Gen 6 incoming. And honestly, that logic isn't crazy. Glock's been running 7 to 8 year generational cycles, and Gen 5 dropped in 2017. Do the math. So, what are we supposedly getting with Gen 6? Hold on to your tactical hats because this list is wild. Feature number 1. No more trigger pull takedown. Look, I know some of you old school guys are rolling your eyes, but let's be real. Though rare, negligent discharges could happen during cleaning if someone forgot to check the chamber. The patent shows a spring-loaded lever system that blocks the striker without needing to pull the trigger. It's basically what they already do with the Glock 46 in Germany. Feature number 2. A modular grip system. Now, this is where things get spicy. We're talking about swappable lower grip sections. Same gun, different personalities. What a compact grip for concealed carry. Snap. Full size for duty use? Snap. It's like SIG's P320 system, but Glockified. But wait, there's more. Universal optics cut that makes the MOS system obsolete. Drop-in trigger units for easy upgrades, and here's the controversial one. Integrated battery holders in the grip frame. Now, before you start screaming "smart gun conspiracy" in the comments, the patent specifically mentions this is for accessories like lights and shot counters. But yeah, it also mentions future smart gun features, which has half the internet losing their minds. And this is where our community splits faster than a cheap holster. On one side, you've got the Modernists who are practically throwing money at their screens. These are the folks who've been begging Glock to catch up with the times, who immediately throw aftermarket everything on their guns the second they get home. They see modularity and think, finally, Glock's joining the 21st century. They want better ergonomics, more customization, and they're tired of Glock being fashionably late to every party. But then you've got the traditionalists, and oh boy are they fired up. These are the Glock peak to Gen 3 crowd, who think the company is about to sacrifice everything that made them legendary or some flashy gimmicks nobody asked for. Their biggest fear? That joint where the upper and lower sections connect. That's a potential failure point that's never existed in a traditional Glock frame. What happens when that connection starts wearing after thousands of grip swaps? They ask. And honestly, valid question. Now here's where I put on my detective hat and ask the hard question. How much of this is actually real? The patents? Definitely real. The discontinuations? Confirmed. The general timeline making sense? Absolutely. Glock losing market share to modular systems like the P320? Unfortunately, yes. But some of these leaked documents claiming exact pricing, $649 for base models, $749 for modular variants, and specific production numbers, that's where my BS detector starts beeping. Look, I've been in this industry long enough to know that real insider information doesn't usually come with watermarked internal memos and detailed cost breakdowns. That level of financial data is locked down tighter than Fort Knox. What we're probably seeing is smart speculation built around real patent findings and market analysis. These internet sleuths found the patents, connected them to the discontinuations, and filled in the gaps with educated guesses and wishful thinking. So, what should you actually do with this information? If you need a Glock right now, buy a Gen 5. Don't wait for mythical Gen 6 models that may or may not exist in the form everyone's claiming. Your current Glock isn't going to magically stop working because a new generation might be coming. If you're thinking about selling your current collection, the sweet spot might be late 2025 if Gen 6 actually materializes. New gun releases typically boost resale values of current models before eventually tanking. And here's a pro tip. Those discontinued oddball calibers like 357 SIG and 45 GAP, they might actually be smart collector investments if Glock really isn't bringing them back. Also, don't make any major financial decisions based on social media speculation, even mine. Here's my take after diving deep into this rabbit hole. Glock is almost certainly working on Gen 6 with some of these features. The patents are too specific and the market pressure too real for this to be complete fiction. But the exact details, timelines, and pricing everyone's throwing out, that's probably educated guesswork dressed up as insider knowledge. Will we see a no-trigger takedown system? Probably. Modular grips? Likely. Universal optics cut? Makes sense. Smart gun integration? Doubtful, at least initially. The truth is, Glock's success comes from being conservative and evolutionary, not revolutionary. Gen 6 will likely be a solid step forward, not the earth-shattering paradigm shifts some people are expecting. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the Glock Gen 6 mystery. What do you think? Are you buying the hype or staying skeptical? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video helped you cut through the noise, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming reviews and breakdowns. We've got some serious content coming your way. And remember, whether it's Gen 5, Gen 6, or Gen 50, the best gun is the one you train with and can rely on when it matters. And that's another round down range. Thanks for hanging out with Brass and Steel. Stay sharp, stay ready, and God bless.